It's a pleasure talking to you. It's been 10 years, more or less, since the disappearance of Eleanor Rigby, and I wanted to ask you, what is your newest film about, and where did you find your inspirations?
Yeah, so the new the new movie is about, the emotional power of music and how music has the ability to throw us back in time, for lack of a better description, in terms of how it invokes nostalgia. Um, and the idea of the movie came from a book that I read by Oliver Sacks called Musicophilia, which is about how music interacts with the brain. And I think this idea of musical hallucinations that he talked about was really interesting to me. Just my own personal experience with music and how emotionally resonant certain songs were in my life, or so many songs and albums were in my life, that kind of gave me the idea of using a song as a time travel mechanism.
Apart from the book, like, does the film have some kind of biographical tropes? Because it feels like, you need some emotional wisdom and some experience with relationships with other people to write a script like that. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always something personal you applied to, at least for me, to the things that I write and the stories I want to tell as a filmmaker. In this case, obviously the different relationships in my life and, the things that we let go in terms of the past in order to open up the future for us. And then,
Mhm.
yeah, just a lot of the music is really personal to me. It's a love letter to Los Angeles, which is where I live now. So there's a lot of personal in there for sure.
And how different is the greatest hits from the previous themes addressing your trilogy on a Rigby? I mean, after all, they're both romantic dramas, but what kind of differences did you employ in it?
Yeah, I mean, I think thematically there's some things that overlap.
Hmm.
This idea of letting go in order to move on. But I think in this case, really, it was about the in this film for sure is the emotional power of music, and its capacity to help us uh, or remind us to live our lives, whether it's
Hmm.
to go
Hmm.
out and dance or things like that.
Tell me something more about how you chose the tracks for the soundtrack. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, so some of them obviously were really personal to me, or
Hmm.
invoked nostalgia for me. And then I worked with Mary Ramos, the music supervisor, and DJ Harvey, who was a music consultant on this, Ryan Lott, who's the composer, even Nelly Furtado, who wrote a new song for the movie with Ryan. I think we all sort of talked together about what the soundscape was, but also thinking what the soundtrack for each character would be in terms of just who they were through music and how the songs would help us tell that story. Even lyrically, the songs are kind of helping tell the story of the movie in
Hmm.
different moments. And, on top of that, just the randomness of music in our lives. When you're driving in the car and the car next to you pulls up, like what's playing out of that? When you walk into a cafe, what's playing there, like thinking about all the music we encounter in our daily lives, even a commercial in the television. I think we confront music in so many different ways, and it impacts us in so many different ways because you can walk into a grocery store and a song's playing and it reminds you of your first love.
How does shooting in Los Angeles correspond with the film's substance? You mentioned Los Angeles earlier, so I'm interested how important is the city for you?
City is huge. It's a character in the movie for me, and we treated it that way. I really wanted to make a love letter to the city of Los Angeles because I think it's such like a beautiful and interesting and multifaceted city. I mean, there's so many different versions of Los Angeles. So I think shooting it through the lens of these characters and sort of my perspective of LA in a way that I hadn't seen before was really exciting to me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jan. I appreciate it.
Thank you.